Good evening. Welcome to another little podcast. Back to the Wednesday evenings again. I haven't done one for a few weeks. One thing and another. Last week, it was absolutely mad because of the transfer window. It was like non-stop. So tonight, back to normal almost. Got Pete with me. How you doing, son?
All right, mate. Very good.
You all good?
Yeah, sound, mate. Yeah.
Did you enjoy the transfer window?
I was happy with who didn't go, rather than extra bodies on there. And there's a few things now, though, isn't there? I mean, it was always going to be hard to get rid of people. They weren't going to go, were they? But there's a lot of
You can't get rid of them. I mean, you can't make someone give up their contract.
no, and it's sort of like, well, what do you do with those people now around the training ground and
I think the ones
whatever?
we're talking about are like Scott Hogan, Djukovic, Etheridge. You've probably got a couple of lone players that we know are a bit superfluous, like Burke. I don't know if he'll play again. He might. I mean, there's people talking tonight in the on the project about possibility of bringing Hogan back because we can't put the ball in the net.
Well, I mean, whilst you're paying his money, I suppose you've got to utilise it. But my concern really is that if you say that we're in a relegation scrap, I'd hate to say it really, but I mean, the table don't lie in a way, and let's get safe first. But if push comes to shove, are you going to rely on people who are off anyway to go that extra mile, to put that extra bit in, knowing that they're off anyway?
Well, you could say the same about Stansfield and Drama because they're all off at the end of the season.
Well, it's quite funny, weren't it, with what Mowbray was on about with his because with Drama's toe being injured, and he says, I mean, I know he was old school and whatever. Mowbray, he says, I never missed one game with a flipping broken toe or anything. You just have an injection and get on with it. But if you look at it from Drama's point of view, and I suppose like the medical people get involved a bit as well, don't they? He's thinking, hang on, I've got my career here. If I, make it even worse or whatever, I've got a lot on the line here.
It's a lot different now. Yeah, it definitely is. And looking at the performance last week, I thought we played pretty well, really, against the Albion. I mean, you've got to remember, Albion are a top six side, aren't they? They're no mugs.
But I mean, as ever in it, it's the curse of the ex-filer. I mean, how many times has it done us this year? I mean, you've had the clown on Saturday, Wyman, haven't you? You've had the bloke for Hull. What's his name? Philogene. Sounds like a Michael Jackson song, that, don't it? He scored against us when they beat the famous Rooney's homecoming game. Callum O'Hare, he did as well, didn't he? The Whittaker at Plymouth. Oh, who we playing Friday? Mr. Barry Bannon. Fucking hell.
Well, I was talking to someone about Bannon the other day because we was talking about Pritchard is a similar sort of player. Probably, in all honesty, not as good as Bannon in a lot of ways, but he's not such a prick as Bannon either,
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, because of the Viola connection, he puts you on the back foot with him straight away, and he's just a arrogant little shit. But what you can't take away from him, he's a bloody good player, isn't he?
He is, unfortunately. Yeah, he is. And we could have done with someone like him for ages. Gary, you there?
Yeah, you're talking about me then?
Yeah, what a little prick you were. How you doing, son?
Stressful day, mate.
Yeah.
I'm all right, mate. I'm all okay.
Good,
you
nice
okay?
Huh?
You all right, Pete?
Yes, Sam, mate. Nice to see you.
Good. Nice to see you too, mate.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a day.
Oh. Have you decided, are you back to being Gaz now then?
Yeah, well, it was only for the month. I mean, it was like in the sales, so I thought I'd give it a try.
Fair enough.
Good on you, mate. Yeah.
Don't knock it till you've tried it, you know.
Yeah. Welcome back to the brotherhood.
Yeah, yeah. We're just talking about Saturday's game, actually. After we were discussing initially, earlier we were talking about supporters club and that, weren't we? Which we'll discuss a little bit more depth in a bit. And the loans, what did you think of the loans?
I think they're all pretty solid loans, really, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know.
Dozell looked good, didn't he, on Saturday?
I thought so. I mean, his first game, he shows he's got a bit of snot in him, doesn't he? That's what we need.
Well, one tackle against Stoke, you could hear the crunch.
Yeah,
Fair play to him.
That's the sort of player Blues fans love, and you know what I mean. Get stuck in.
We got a lot of choices
like he can play the ball as well. He's not just a Sunyuk, if you like. He can play.
It's funny you should say that, because when they signed him, I thought, well, that's curtains for Sunjic, but he doesn't look like he is, does it? He looks like he's got his captaincy, and he looks like he's Mowbray's number one man on the sheet.
Looks that way, yeah.
What do you reckon, Pete?
Yeah, like you say, the ones who've come in, I'm happy with. My only concern, Gaz, was on about was that we got a few players who are surplus to requirements hanging around now, and all that thing about can you rely on them to go that extra yard, put that extra tackle in, put that extra effort in when they know that they're on the way anyway.
Yeah.
That extra 5% or 10% that can make a difference between winning and losing a game.
I think.
So who do you think are going to be on their way then, realistically?
Well, he's already changed his agent to try and get a move away from the club that he'll be going back to. And I can't see.
He's at Werder Bremen, I think, and the problem we had with Burke is that there was a non-release clause in his loan contracts. So any of the contracts that don't have a release clause in them, you can't do anything. They can't bring them back. You can't send them back. So that's that. So, I mean, I think that's the Mail making a story out of, guess what Oliver Burke's doing? He's getting his agent to get him a move when he leaves Blues. So what the fuck do I care about that? It's a non-story. It's a typical, 5 things you didn't know about Oliver Burke. The thing with the Mail, 5 things, it's sort of shite. It's not a story, Yeah. Why do I care where fucking Oliver Burke goes when he goes back to Werder Bremen?
I don't, but I mean, like you say, it's so obvious that he ain't got a long-term future at Blues.
No.
So, I mean, will he put in that extra bit? That's my whole point about it. Is that there's sort of 4 or 5 of them hanging around the training ground who know that they're off anyway.
Well, he's in the shop window, isn't
he? Yeah. I see where you're coming from there, Pete, really. I mean, there could be like sort of negative energy, bad vibes, all the rest of it. But we're going to have more ex-managers, and players on the wage bill that are not contributing to the club than we have got playing.
I think John Eustace is on his way now, isn't he? He's going to Huddersfield, I think.
Yeah, there's rumours, isn't there? But
so that might be one wage off the club.
Yeah.
But with the loan players, I mean, at the end of the season we stopped paying them, and then we've got Etheridge, who's a big earner. We've got Hogan, who's on a big wage. We've got Duke, who's on a big wage. We've got Roberts, who's 1 season extension finishes at the end of the year. We've got Kevin Long, who finishes at the end of the year. We've got John Ruddy, who finishes not the end of the year, at the end of the season. There's a few others, I think, as well.
Gary Gardner. Gary Gardner contract.
Gary Gardner is another one. I think we've got 12 players out of contract.
Yeah.
So, which really is a good thing for us, because number one, it's the wages. So we can bring the wage structure back into place again. It went absolutely apeshit when they opened the safe to Harry Redknapp, and we went on that trolley dash. 5-year contracts, fucking crazy money. He even signed someone who got the same name but got the wrong person. What's his name? The big French black guy. The worst fucking football you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, Check and Die.
Check and Die, yeah. He got the wrong head, Die.
Well,
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Yeah. So there's all that where the structure really didn't exist. What they'll have in place now is an absolute definite ceiling. So you're not going to get any of those 5-year contracts with big money anymore. If they don't fit if they don't tick the boxes, then we're not going to sign them. It doesn't matter who they are. You want £1,000 a week more than our top ceiling, then you're not coming here. And it's a good way to be because it's being prudent for the future.
I mean, you'd hope there'd be a bit of ducking and diving and negotiations going on already, because the one thing that we've got though is come the summer, and it's not like it's a secret, is that we've got a bit of dough. All of a sudden, these clubs are now, oh, well, Blues are in for X, Y, and Z. They got a bit of dough. The price goes up, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. The thing is, that depends on the club and who's in charge of it, and we're pretty hard nosed, and I think we just proved that with the Sunderland deal with Alex Pritchard, because Sunderland initially wanted £500,000 for Pritchard, who's got 6 months left on his contract. Blues. So what they've got is a player who he didn't say he wasn't going to play for them again. He just didn't play 1 week. He said he wasn't going to play, and he was obviously unhappy. I don't know if you know the story behind this, but Mowbray apparently had his hand forced a little bit to play Job and leave Pritchard on the bench by Christian Speakman, and Mowbray sort of half confirmed that, and so has Pritchard in the roundabout way. You can't go straight out and say that sort of thing. So the situation was that. So what Blues went back and said was, listen, we want him now. We'll give you £100,000. You can take it or leave it. And Sunderland said, stick it up your arse. He's not going for 100,000. So Blues said, okay, we'll put it right back up our arse. If you want to see us, give us a shout and we'll sign him. And it went right the way. That's why there were stories breaking on Thursday and Friday. Pritchard's coming. Well, where's the signature? When's he signing? Wasn't signing. And I think I got a call from someone at 10 a.m. on Thursday morning saying Pritchard's just signed. And that's when I put it straight onto our site. And people go, oh, how do you know? I go, I ain't going to fucking tell you that, am I? But I guarantee you he's just signed. And then all day, oh, well, why hasn't he signed then? Where is he? Where we can't see him. Well, he hasn't signed officially because he hasn't had his fitness test. Fucking hell. But he signed. But what they did was they played the game and they said, you know what? If you don't want the 100,000, let him sit on your bench and we'll have him for free at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And also, we'll take his wages off your books. Sunderland are in shit at the moment with FFP. They're in all sorts of problems. Mm-hmm. So I think we've got a pretty hard-nosed bunch. And I think if anyone thinks they're going to come and take the piss out of us, I think they're wrong.
But I hope you're right there. I really do. Because we've got to be, for those dozen that's going out, we've got to get bodies in, haven't we?
We have, but I think there's going to be. We just got I forget his name. Steve Park, is it from Celtic? The guy, the recruitment, the recruitment man who is absolutely brilliant. He's worked with Mowbray before. We just got him, and I think what we'll be doing is trawling a lot of the lower league clubs, looking for some gems at the right price. Might bring in one or two established players, if the money's right. So I think those people will already be lined up. And I think we had a lot lined up in the loan in the January window as well. But there was, I don't know if you heard this thing about we have to fit into the amount of loans that we have. So we could only have 8, but you can only play 5 in any match day squad. But there also has to be, I forget what the percentage is, a certain percentage of players in the in the first team squad that are aged 25 or over or under. You're only allowed to have a certain amount, 25 and over. So there's a certain. We'd already got. I don't know. I can't remember exactly what, but we were already right on the line with it. So we had to be really careful with that in terms of FFP and ticking the EFL boxes. So we had the loan situation, and we had the ages that we had to look at for people that we wanted to bring in. So it was really, really tight, you know. Whichever way we looked, it was a very, very difficult window for Blues.
Yeah, it's a minefield, isn't it? All this that goes on, you know, and having to meet all these criteria and just trying to put 11 bodies on the pitch, you know.
Fucking
It's
hell,
crazy,
imagine Barry Fry be pulling his fucking hair out, wouldn't it? Barry Fry, who is he? Fucking sign him.
Yeah, sign him. He looks good.
Number
He's the
86.
next Ronaldo.
Give him the number 86.
Sorry,
When David Speedy signed. Was that Barry Fry?
Getting on to was Speedy? No, I think he was pre Barry Fry, wasn't he?
It was the Triton Dolly mixture kit.
Yeah.
Do you remember seeing him play? Well, I was thinking, fuck me, David Speedy's paying for us. I didn't fucking know he'd signed, like, you know.
But you know, I mean, getting back to Friday, I think like Sheffield Wednesday, it's they've got to earmark that. It's a must-win game for them, isn't it? Really, with all the shit and everything that's going on with their club and their owner and where they are in the league and whatever. They only played a reserve team last night, didn't they, against Coventry, and got battered 4-1. So they can't really look into that one. But they must have marked Friday as a must-win game.
But I think it's for Blues as well.
I think the first goal is going to be massive.
I mean, we're not in a position where nobody owes us the right to stay in this division just because we've got these Yanks behind us. No. I mean, the biggest irony of all is we got fucking relegated.
Well, what I was going to sort of like lead on to in a way from that is sort of like with Sheffield Wednesday, they're quite, apart from Barry Bannon, really, they're quite a physical side, aren't we? So we've got to have enough people in our team who's up for the battle. That's why I'm glad that Long played against Albion, because I mean he ain't going to take any shit, is he?
No, you got Sunich, you got Long, you've got Pritchard, you got Dazelle.
Footing, you know what I mean?
You got. I don't think Ethan Laird ain't going to pull out of much. You know, apart from that, this is why I think Oliver Burke has been played as much as he has, and I keep saying it purely for size.
Yeah.
We're a really small team, we are.
You know, has somebody been saying to you size matters, Steve? Because you do say it quite a bit, mate.
I have to worry in that respect, Pete, to be honest, mate. I think that might be more. I don't know. I was wondering why Gary had thought about the sex change.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, never knock anything until you've tried it. You know, that's all. That's as far as I'll go with that, I think.
I want to say something while I'm thinking about it. You know, like R.I.P. Patty Bella.
Yeah, gosh. Yeah, blimey. Yeah, thanks for your sarcastic reply.
What did I say?
And you went, by the way, Patty Bell died. I just went, no, and you went, yeah.
I didn't mean it like that. It wasn't meant to be so sarcastic. It was like, yeah, it really happened.
Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah, happy memories of Patty, and you know, yeah.
I remember when I worked. She used to be in the Osteria all the time, and I worked there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she's a good kid, and Stevie Gibbons, good lad, you know.
Yeah,
a shame, but anyway, you know, just thought we'd
I went to quite a few interesting parties around their place back in the day with Herman and little Chinese Mick and all that lot, you know.
Mickey Lamb.
Yeah. yeah.
I speak to Mickey Lamb quite a lot on Facebook.
Yeah. I bumped into him. Oh, I don't know. It's quite a few years ago. Now, working on the site at Marston Green.
Still
He's
looks
like,
exactly the same. And
bloody
John's
hell,
dead.
Nick.
John's
Yeah,
dead, isn't he?
Pardon?
John's dead.
John Brady.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he died about 2 years ago, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Blimey.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, we digress.
Because Pete's getting bored.
No, maybe he's on about Steve Gibbons and whatever. Just a little sidetrack from there. Did you hear about the Crown, Gaz?
I saw something on Facebook about it, but yeah, I used to go in there a lot.
Well, I mean, it's sort of like an iconic place, isn't it, music-wise? And that band's played there. And but is it Sabbath's first gig or something there as?
I don't know about that, but I know we used to go there a lot in the punk days and in the football in the 70s football days, as you said. A welcoming committee always used to assemble down the back of the street when they used to bring about the back.
It was a bit of a crossover, wasn't it, with the from the skinhead to the punk thing? You all became one.
Yeah,
one lot, didn't you?
And then back again. It all went a bit weird, but yeah.
1 minute they were like skinheads with no hair, fucking dog collars, and 10 minutes later, New Romantics.
Yeah. I just really didn't like that scene at all. I got involved in it. I did, as you know, because through Ange, and everything. But it weren't really.
You were a big Duran fan, weren't you? You loved Simon Le Bon.
I think you got me mistaken with somebody else. But I'll tell you what, though. I remember I was quite pally with Roger, the drummer.
Yeah.
Not the cabin boy.
Roger Taylor.
Yeah, because he used to play in a band that used to play regularly at the Crown, was the Scent Organs.
Okay.
He was the drummer for them.
Nice
name. He's a DVB, though. He's the proper one, isn't he?
I don't know.
Oh, you have to, guys. You have to talk to people properly. You don't talk about how his rhythm is at drumming. You say, "Who do you support?"
That's the first thing.
I don't think we ever really was in the music scene. I don't think we ever really got into the sort of football chat. I didn't. But if he was, then I would have blanked him, obviously.
Yeah, he was a viler. I don't think any of the others were overly that Duran lot were overly bothered with the football, was they?
Yeah, we used to get a few blues a few blues players in the Osterio. Didn't get any violers in there. We used to have Frank Worthington in there, had Alan Kirbishley in there, Langy, proper people.
Well, that Posterior, that was right in the middle of the New Romantic.
Yeah, and there was me, mate, DJing 3 nights a week. Yeah, man. Thank you. Steve Trainer, Bambino Doloro, Osteria Numero on Sabato Sera. That was the thing. That was Steve Trainer on Saturday night, the golden boy of the Osteria #1.
Then you'd have the pumps come and smash
I do, unfortunately.
Sitting up in my little crow's nest. How times changed, but never mind. It's another thing that we've done in it. Gaz, I'll tell you, Pete and I were talking about something, and Pete's going to do something with us on the project. And it's not done as a sort of backlash in any way. What happened was Pete was trying to get involved with, the Blues and the new supporters club and all that. I don't know if you've been reading it.
Yeah.
Well, they've got like a heritage. They're going to do a heritage. What is it, Pete? Heritage
and history section in it.
Yeah, and so Pete had written to them or emailed them and sort of applied to, shown his interest in it. They didn't even fucking get back to him,
Wow.
So they go ahead and they set this thing up, and Pete's not involved in it. That's not really the whole crux of the matter, although Pete would have liked to be involved.
Yeah.
But some sort of response to him would have been good.
Yeah.
Because I've got to say this, and I don't want to embarrass him in any way, but he's fucking brilliant. He's a great writer. His memory is second to none, and his stories are funny but also informative.
Yeah,
And what I was thinking, strangely enough, today, just driving around, having read a few things about what that thing with Pete, and I thought, you know what, I'd love to get a heritage section started in the project,
yeah.
just like a separate group. And I was thinking about it. I got home this afternoon and turned my phone on, and had a look at the group, but to step in the middle of a little fight between Dan Ivory and Pete, who were like who were like squabbling about fuck all. So I thought, I think Dan said, I'm sure Steve would help you or something. I don't know. And I said, oddly enough, it's something I've been thinking about. It really was all day today. I thought, you know what? I'm going to grab Pete later and see if he's interested in that. Well, luckily enough, Pete is. So I think we're going to go ahead with this, Pete, aren't we?
Well, yeah. I mean, from the actual with the club side of things, once all that their heritage and history sites up, I'm going to try and be badgering them and whatever for. I know, Gaz, you like your show and tells, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you got a little bag with you somewhere today? Or
I haven't, mate.
mate,
I've literally come in from work. Look at me. I'm
But basically, sort of thing is that there's that much memorabilia out there and programs and stuff, and people passed away. I thought it'd be great to actually have like a blues program. As I say, fair. You know, people could buy and sell if they wanted to, or just a place where people can bring their memorabilia to show off, to talk amongst each other, something like that. You know what I mean?
Pete, I've got to just say something there, right? But before you go any further, this thing, you know, like your little squabble with Dan, right?
Yeah.
I've got to say now, to a certain degree, in a way, he was right. Not, you know, just looking at it, it's what you just said there about, I want to get involved with the Blues because I want to. You don't need Blues to do what you want to do. You don't. You want to put a program fair on, you can fucking do it easy. You'd be amazed how much you can do just online like this. We can get 50 people on this meeting now if we want.
Yeah.
Get a little something, get someone's house and have a little get-togethers. You don't need the club. You don't. Honestly, you really don't. People aren't interested in you. Let them stick it up their arse. You know.
I mean, for the thing about people, sort of like fans and fan stories and this, that, and the other, the social media section of that would be an ideal vehicle. And thanks for the project for you, Steve, like saying that that's something that you'd be interested in taking on.
Definitely.
But more with the club, it was more the physical thing of actually going to look at stuff. Now, a couple of years ago, Blues had this thing. The BBC was trawling around different parts of the country, like 30 years of the Premier League. You know, because football only started 30 years ago, didn't it?
Yeah.
And the Midlands section, they brought a camera crew and whatever down, and what it is you all had to bring your little bits of mementos. They'd come and give you a little interview, have a look at your stuff, see if it was worth their 30 seconds of film to then put in this program. I don't even remember it seen. So, you know, you got things like the boots Brian Dean wore when he scored the first ever goal in the Premier League for Sheffield United against Man United. And there was hardly, there was about like one man and his dog there. There was hardly no interest in it whatsoever. There was one bloke had got a few Albion stuff. All I'd got and all I'd brought around me, because I mean, was from a Blues point of view, I'd got all the tickets from our first season in the Premier League. You know, starting with Arsenal away. I've actually kept them, believe it or not. They'd look say, yeah, thanks, okay, yeah, but it's not the sort of thing that we really after, which you can understand, really. You know, I mean, I think when the program went out, it was all about flipping Man United and Liverpool. They didn't want to see, oh well, yeah, we didn't come to the party till sort of like 2002. They weren't interested in the blue tickets from Blue. But that sort of like put a seed of an idea in my head. Now, we used to have that thing called the Blues Historical Society, which used to have meetings. They used to, you know, they brought Gil Merrick along in the 1963 League Cup winning side, those that had survived. Absolutely brilliant thing it was. And I just thought, well, wouldn't it be great to actually have something at the Blues for people to come along, bring their memorabilia, bring their. I could bring Fritz. No,
I think what would happen there, Pete, is I think this is like what everyone's got to get their head around a little bit. Is say you want to do that, right? You can do it, but you approach the club with it, right? And what they'll say is, right, here's the email address for the bloke who runs the historical stuff for Blues now. Email him. That's what's going to happen. So you'll go to him with your idea, and he'll decide whether it's all right or it isn't. It's like us now with our stuff when we look at disabled toilets or, you know, the crap catering or this or that or the other. And I mean, we're in the habits of dealing directly with the club. I'm still going to do that. And then the club can direct it to whoever they want, but we still want a response. But we've got to get used to the fact that it's now being farmed out to loads of different people. So you've got 5 different fucking groups or whatever, you know, disabled people, historical and heritage, this and that and the other. And what they'll do is I'll get something come in like you, Pete, saying that. And they'll say, right, you know, so who is it in charge of that, Pete?
I can't even remember his name, to tell you the truth.
So they're going to say, right then, so him. It used to be Ivan. What's it, didn't it?
Ivan Bardsley, was it?
Ivan, yeah. But anyway, so they'll say, right then, give it him. You deal with that. And you see this bloke, this is what he wants to do. There you go. We don't know what he's like. No one's voted him into a position. He's just been placed there. He could be the biggest dick in the world. He might not have, and I doubt he would have, one little fucking iota of the knowledge that you have about Blues past, recent past, if we say the last 50 years. But it doesn't matter because you weren't fit enough. You didn't qualify to get an interview because this person is already there. So that's the situation we find ourselves in. So they haven't got the best people to do the job. Who knows what's going to happen?
To be fair, and I mean, I should have remembered his name or whatever, but I mean, he's the bloke who actually does the tour. He knows his stuff. He does the tours around the ground and things like that on match days, and does a lot of.
Tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Fucking jobs for the boys.
I don't want to diss the bloke because I have never met him, and B, they wouldn't put a fool in charge of the club, but he's their fool, isn't he? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly the point. You know, it works for them. He's not going to have an argument with Jeremy Dale about not doing it and saying, "Listen, I think you're wrong. You know, this guy should." You just tell him to shut up and fuck off, like, you know, where he's not allowed to be in the club anymore, and it'll be, you know, it's that bullshit, isn't it? I'm not particularly mentioning. I'm not mean that guy in particular because I don't know him, but I know the kind of people that go for this sort of thing. You know, it is that, you know, oh fucking hell, like, you know, guess where I was today? Well, I was sitting 20 feet away from Jeremy Dale. Well, you know, like he handed me a biscuit. You know,
yeah, but I mean, you could also, you know, other people might be saying if Pete did get the job, they don't know Pete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But at least it could be done. No one could listen. Have a look at Pete there. Like somebody said, "Who's that Muppet like lounging?" Did you see that comment on the?
They weren't far wrong, was they?
Did you see it?
The
Who's that?
coffin dodging Muppets.
Mind you, I seen you on the couch the other day for one of your podcasts, mate.
I was.
There's
Yeah.
copyright, you know.
It is, mate. No, I didn't call you a fucking muppet. Somebody else did.
Well, he wasn't far wrong, to be fair.
But but at least
Yeah.
you know you would have. If someone said, "Okay, then, so why did we pick you, Mister Guy that works for the Blues already? That's worked there for years, that does all the ground tours, that just happened to be the best candidate for this job out of all the people that wanted to be interviewed." You were the best, even though you already work here. We know you really well. Blah 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 blah. But so how did Pete Hannon's interview go? Because I heard he wrote in, and he's really good. Well, actually, we didn't fucking bother to have a look at him. You know, that's the thing. If
Yeah.
they interviewed you and you didn't get it, fine.
Well, you know, I mean, am I barking up the wrong tree here about this memorabilia thing or program fairs and whatever?
It's the sort of thing that appeals to a certain age range. That's what I think, Pete.
Well,
I don't think it's going to be for the kids. But I think what a lot of that stuff, I love seeing it. I do, because it brings back memories for me. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
what do people collect these days? Or it ain't even a thing, is it? I mean,
Well, generally, it's shirts.
Yeah.
There is a site actually, Birmingham City Shirt Sales. It's just like a site like our site, and they do have quite a lot of people on there. I mean, we have Rob Playster putting a lot of Blues match-worn shirts onto our selling site. You know, so those are the things that gain interest, the shirts, and you can understand it. And I'm interested in them because you think, I see photos of Blues sometimes. I think, fucking, I remember that. Do you remember that white with the red and blue quadrants?
Yeah.
I always remember Andy Kennedy wearing that. I can't remember who he scored against. Cardiff. But I remember that kit. And I seen a photo the other day and I thought, fucking hell, that shirt. I loved it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, those things, I think, are the things that get the attention now. Because programs, although programs will become quite valuable because they're quickly becoming a thing of the past, aren't they?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But it weren't just sort of like, you think how many people have passed and whatever and left, you know, their Blues, not even just sort of like programs, different sorts of bits of memorabilia, which are just sitting at home somewhere doing nothing. And it'd just be nice that, you know, to get them out, you know, for a place where people could bring them or bring stuff that would mean something for other people to get some enjoyment out of. Not saying to sell them, although they could if they wanted. But
I don't know if you would get the amount of people. I think for that sort of thing, social media would be quite good.
Yeah.
Because you can still see the objects. You know, you can still look at them. But the thing for me, Pete, that is more valuable than that, really, are the stories.
Well, this is the second bit of it, which is I totally agree. Don't need the club for, we can do it ourselves.
It's the most important part, you know. It's like that; those things, like you telling us a few weeks ago when you slept through 3 countries or something and all that. And although it's amusing and you know, we have a good laugh about it and that, it can like take kids today back in a fucking time machine to what it was like to support Blues when it was really shit. A program from Groningen ain't going to tell them fuck all.
No, yeah.
But your story.
I'll
the program up and saying, see this program? I want to fucking tell you all about this now.
Yeah.
And that's what gets people's attention, not the program.
Spot on, Steve.
Yeah.
Pete, I mean, great idea, really. But I think Steve's right there. Social media is the way forward, you know, whether you like it or not, it is. But having something physical and attaching real history to it, like with your own narration, is spot on. I love your comments that you accompany your photos and stuff because they're witty.
Yeah,
You know,
he's
like
good.
that.
I mean, Pete's a great writer. He
Yeah.
fucking goes on a bit much. So
It's
if
cool,
I
isn't
see
it?
one of Pete's posts, I think, well, I'll fucking come back later about
Yeah.
4 o'clock when I get home from work, feed the
Yeah.
dog, get it to sleep, and fucking put my feet up and read Pete's post. You know, but there's a certain skill in writing, you know.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, for sure.
And he's got that skill, and he's really good at it. He's amusing, he's informative, and he knows his stuff, you know. And what I can't believe with Pete is his fucking memory, you know.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the fuck I did 2 weeks ago. Luckily.
No, you're absolutely right. No, it's spot on, Pete. Like I can even see Fritz blushing there.
Fritz has just touched me. Get
Can you hear my dog snoring? Fucking snoring there, cheeky bastard.
It's me, innit? But no. To me, like, you know, with like a historical section of the club, it's more about the fans are the most important part of that Blues history.
Yeah.
Well, and that's really true. And like I said, I was emailing Jeremy Dahl the other day about this thing about who you contact, and the very end of my email said, "Yeah, it's still our club. You know, it is, and it doesn't matter. You can have. I can think back all the managers. You can think back the Kumars. You can think back Wayland. You can think back Wiseman. You can think back Dong, and you know, you can think back all of the owners. But we're still the fuckers that are still here. We didn't go anywhere. We're still here, you know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter about those people. They can kick us around for a few years and they'll make the money and fuck off. And then someone else can come and kick us around. But we're always here. And at the end of the day, and the point I was making or trying to make was, you can ask people to join supporters club, but if they don't do it, they're not any less of a supporter. So you can get that out of your head straight away because it's our club. We do what we want.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, from a club perspective, sort of thing. You know, there's record books and you know, going back and that sort of history of moving into St. But the fans are the club to me. And what I think, you know, what I'd love to try and aim to do is to sort of like get aside, not just for people who've passed away, people's memories of supporters.
You do know, don't you, that we've got a remembrance site?
Yes, yeah.
And people put things on there like squid and stuff like that, you know.
But it's almost like to have something sort of like organised, you know. I mean, like I say, I ain't got a clue about technology or whatever. Even if it's just sort of like a name and a link to that name where people can just quickly click on, go to that person. They can write their whatever they want about that person, add a few things or whatever. Like we were saying earlier, you know, I mean, Carol, the scarf lady, she's such a part of something for
Blues. She's still alive, you know, isn't she? She's in.
I saw a thing about just you know, a few little lines about, you know, I remember when I first saw her and this, that, and the other. There's the Grandad Aggro in the seats from the 70s. Watch him going berserk or where, you know, there's all those names, and then you'd have Grandad Aggro. Yeah, I remember Grandad Aggro or whatever. But you know, it just, you know, there's so many people out there. There's this bloke who used to write a lot of stuff on other blues groups. This bloke called Gordon Cooper. And I think he's sort of like, he always signs off his name on whatever age he's. I think he's up to 94 now. Now, he has his little spats with people, but the bloke is an absolute fountain of knowledge. He really is. He's fantastic. And he did a lot, not just with blues, his blues supporting stuff, but stuff around the non-league scene. There's a load of people, even sort of like just having the name Gordon Cooper. people could just go and click on and say, oh, well, yeah, he's an arsehole, or no, he's a fantastic bloke. Da, 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 da. So
Dangerous, that is, you fucking muppet.
yeah.
I
but
know what you mean.
Yeah, so that's the sort of thing I'd like to do. I mean,
and the other thing you can do, Pete, is remember, we can do podcasts on it. You know, you could do a podcast on a specific game. You tell me what you want to do, the game. We'll sort it out. I'll come on with you, and we'll just do what we do now, except you do all the talking, and I just ask you pertinent questions now and again. Because people today, like people sometimes can't be bothered to even read. I know that sounds stupid, but they want everything visual.
Yeah.
So if we spent 40 minutes, you telling us about your journey to Groningen, or you know, for one, you know, and you can put on like we could put on a week before. Next Wednesday, we haven't got to record it on a Wednesday. We can record it whenever we want out and put it out when we want. Next Thursday, Pete is going to be talking about this 1982 trip to Exeter, you know, and then people go, oh, fucking hell, like, you know, I remember that, I was there, or that, you know, and then there you are, we're talking about it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's so many incredible characters. Well, obviously that we've lost, so we can't talk to them, but we can talk about them.
Yeah, but you can bring people in to the studio.
And there's people like there's Vince Sheehan. He's part of the project group, sort of thing. I don't mind saying it, Vince now, but he's well into his 70s. He's absolutely brilliant. We got Pete Bevins. He's been going since the late 60s. He still goes everywhere, home and away. Just these people are a fountain of stories. That it's almost like it's an untapped gold mine of blues.
You just get your guests on if you want. You know, just send Pete a message and say, do you want to come and do a podcast with us? Here's the time, 40 minutes or an hour or whatever. Are we going to talk about things in general? Oh, come on, we'll do the podcast. Listen to Pete, listen to you. Brilliant.
Yeah. What do you think, Gaz?
Yeah, I think it'd be a great idea. Like, you know, you could even do sort of like decades, if you like, if you wanted to sort of break it up and like sort of go through the decades, all the seasons, if you wanted to really do a load of podcasts. But yeah, you know, I mean, it's a great idea.
We could do one on you, Gaz. Can we? First, I was a skinhead, then I was a punk. And I ended up
a new romantic.
No, never a real. I've never hold my hand up to being a new romantic. Never.
No. He's an old romantic. Still are.
Like it.
Grandad Agro. I mean, it's just made me chuckle. I'd forgotten all about him. You know, it used to be in the main stand, and he used to run down the lower main stand in the seats there.
Yeah, he'd start, wouldn't he? And there'd be. Not that, you know, he'd just go for no reason, though, wouldn't there be just a game playing out and whatever, and then wash he'd be off, and that's it. Grandad Agro's at it. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. But on about the supporters club, did you used to go in that old one under Emmeline Street?
Me, I've been in there a few times. I wasn't a regular like a lot of you were.
Well, it was because of the licensing laws and whatever. It was the one place that you'd be able to get a drink at 20 to 5, because the only a lot of places then sort of thing were 5:30. 5:30. The most 5:30 ones were. I'm just trying to think. It was the Temple Bar and Shakespeare were your first 5:30 ports of call in town. I'm sure people had the magic knot to get in certain places or whatever. But that supporters club was the first one that would get full because you could have a drink at 20 to 5.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the days, weren't they? When football matches finished at 20 to 5, you'd have sort of like, if you had 1 minute's injury time, that's as much as you'd ever have, wasn't it?
Yeah.
now what is it? Sort of like 8 minutes seems to be the norm, don't it, or something?
It's getting a bit like, I think the game's getting destroyed by this sort of thing. It's like it's like with the VAR, like a finger making you offside or something. It's just bollocks, isn't it?
Well, I don't like it at all. That's one thing I'm really not looking forward to. If I'm not saying if, I'm going to say when we get back to the Premier League. Oh, that VAR it ruins the game. I think it's just
the one thing you could stop in a shot is anyone who goes down holding the head, complaining of head injury. Say, well, you got to go off for 10 minutes and go through a protocol.
Yeah.
It'd stop it overnight. That would.
Yeah.
Because now people just lie, hoping that the ref will blow up to bring play back and whatever, or just. I watched the Rangers game, Rangers and Aberdeen last night, and Rangers was piling on the pressure, and all of a sudden, surprise, bit of a Neil Warnock team starting out already, disrupt the flow of the game. Down they'll go with a bad injury and whatever. Well, just saying that, I think Neil Warnock is the one he's the Blues manager that got away, isn't he? He's horrible, he's nasty, he's this, that, and the other. But I think he would have been a perfect fit for us at some stage.
Can I just say something there? It's not too late. We always get people at the end of the career, right? So,
I don't know if you ever watched the Paul Devlin podcast thing that they're all making podcasts these days, ain't they, footballers and whatever.
Yeah, I watched it.
I mean, Devlin's a great bloke. He's very down to earth, straight, tells it as it is and whatever. And he got a big lot of respect for Warnock. He's saying he's a proper man's.
He had him at Sheffield United, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he was horrible enough, nasty enough to have ticked quite a lot of boxes about being a Blues manager, wasn't he?
But I think Tony Mowbray's a good fit for us as well, though.
Yes, 100% he is now, especially for all his coffin dodgers and whatever. He's got a bit of old school values. He seems to have them, don't he?
And I never thought about him as being like a perfect fit for Blues, but he is. And you're right. And I'm really glad that geezer coined coffin dodgers. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Yeah. It's like Barry Fry. He was the perfect fit for Blues because he was a nutcase, wasn't he?
Fucking nutter.
And he'd give it out as much as stick as someone would give him. He'd give it back, wouldn't he? Yeah. It was perfect for the era, for what we were. It was just perfect Blues, wasn't it?
I think it actually showed how astute Karen Brady and Sullivan were at the time, because he was the equivalent to the Rooney signing.
I was just going to say that exactly. Yeah.
So that was of its age, and he did the job, didn't it?
Yeah. We got him from Southport, did we? Did we get him from Southport?
The South End,
South End, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He had Collymore there, didn't
he? Yeah. Ricky Otto, Jonathan Hunt, Gary Paul. He used to buy everybody, didn't he?
Lovely player, Jonathan Hunt.
Remember that that one time it was I think it was one of these Anglo-Italian things. I mean, he didn't like a tackle, Jonathan Hunt, did he?
No, he didn't.
And he pulled out a one in this one Anglo-Italian thing, and all you can see is flipping Barry Fry running up and down the flipping touchline, dancing like a chicken. Go at Jonathan Hunt, but no, Baz flipping, what a legend of a bloke he was, and then of course, following it on from him, we got Trevor, who it was almost like the total polar opposite, wasn't he, Trevor? Now, as much Trevor is an absolute hero for everything, but his man management skills weren't the best, and I didn't ever want him to become Blues manager, Trevor.
I understand that, because unless he won something, which he come very, very close to doing, it would sort of let the whole legend down, wouldn't it?
Exactly. I mean, it's okay for us because we will always have the memories of Trevor the player, Trevor the absolute legend. There's people who didn't see him play who would see him as a manager who failed to get us promoted with everything stacked in his favour as far as player recruitment. It's so sad, really, that and I know he got in the playoffs 3 times under it, lost 3 times in a row under him, didn't we? But he just couldn't get us.
It was only a crap refereeing decision that stopped us with the League Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, those with the squad that he had and the experienced players around him,
we should have gone up.
We should have gone up. Forget playoffs. You know what I mean? And that's the sad thing about the Trevor legacy of that side. His managerial career. But that's why I try to always sort of like gloss over it in a way. And to me, it'll always be Superboy and those memories.
Yeah.
He wasn't the most enigmatic person, was
he? No. And like Dev said in his podcast and whatever, like man management wasn't his forte. There again, I suppose he's one of these. He expected everyone to be as good as him. As he was,
But he got Sheffield Wednesday to 2 cup finals.
Yeah.
In the same season.
Yeah, he was the nearly man, wasn't he, Trev?
Yeah.
Managerial wise.
Yeah.
Everywhere, didn't they? I mean, like I say, with Sheffield Wednesday, just there, look, they get to 2 cup finals and they end up playing flipping Arsenal in both of them, didn't they? and lost them both.
Yeah, that Arsenal and nothing, take it from me. We done them.
Yeah,
look, we're going to call it a day, I think.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, it's like 7:45 here, and I need to eat and all that stuff.
It's like one of my posts, isn't it? These podcasts, they go on that long.
Well, one of the other things is it takes so long to convert it from the laptop into a file that I can send to my phone, that I then have to put into YouTube, that then has to convert it to go onto Facebook. It takes fucking hours.
Okay, then. So lovely to see you, Gaz.
Yeah, you too, mate. Yeah.
We'll try and do something next week. And Pete, we'll move on this historical thing, mate.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on that. Gaz, it's great to see you, kiddo.
Yeah, you too, mate. Are you going to come over anytime soon? We'll have to get together.
I'll try, yeah. When you're coming over here?
Whenever you like, I'm happy. When do you want to go, Pete? We'll do a podcast from Steve's.
Oh, yeah, that'd be funny, wouldn't it?
I ain't got a pot to piss in. I can't flipping go over to bloody Spain, mate. I've got my daughter to look after.
My daughter come over last week, right? Her and my grandson.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
47 quid return.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, Pete.
Yeah, big shout out to my daughter and her dance team.
They're brilliant. Come on, mate. Tell us what they won. They went to Blackpool, didn't they?
They went to Blackpool and they've won everything. There's all different sections and stuff and whatever. Yeah, it was like a national competition, and they're unbelievable. they're the top of their game for what they are, which is brilliant. For they're not the biggest dance company out there, but they're fucking brilliant. They really are.
We know that.
Yeah.
You say that every time, and we believe you
Yeah.
because they've
All
won
right,
things now. Listen, guys, it's great to see you again, and we're going to sort it soon. Gaz, look after yourself, kid. Give
too,
give our
mate.
love to the missus.
Will do.
Chris.
Will do. Yeah.
Pete, Pete, you got any birds on the go, Pete, at the moment?
Got any what? Sorry, mate.
You got any women on the go at the moment?
No, I've had bollocks.
Just wondering. You're fucked now that the grapes is shut.
Yeah, man. One last thing before we go, then, I've still got Gaz there. I'd love us to do a thing like a non-blues thing, just a music thing, a Birmingham music thing.
Definitely, that'd be good.
That
would be good, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it got to be Birmingham, though?
Take care, everyone, then. See ya. Ta-ra.
Right, Pete, see you later. Ta-ra, Gaz.
Okay.
Gaz, see you later, mate.